So let us look at the bigger picture. And when we talk about the bigger picture, this goes beyond Julius Malema. It's about how the West still tries to control the African narrative. Lots of beautiful and amazing souls. So welcome to Africa Unchained, where we tell real stories. We uncover real stories that are behind global headlines. So in today's video, we have some news, some, I don't know, bad news, I don't know how to describe it, but at the end of the video, you will have known where to categorize it. So Julius Malema has reportedly been denied a visa to the United Kingdom. Okay, that's actually a very popular story, as at the moment it's trending. I have seen so many people talking about it, including TV stations, and we have one of the most known, a very popular journalist from BBC, Larry Madowo. He talked about it. And remember, this is like the second or the third time of him being denied a visa to the UK. Remember the first time he went there and he tried to open the minds of Africans? You'll actually listen, it's in this video, and I think that is why he was denied that visa. So why would one of the Africa's most vocal leader be blocked from the so-called free country? Why? Anyway, I don't know what's really going on, but I want us to listen to some videos and then I come back now and do more analysis. Okay.
The UK rejected Julius Malema's visa application to come here, and he clapped back. The UK Home Office denied Julius Malema's visa application, saying he supports Hamas and has called for the slaughter of white people in South Africa. Julius Malema denies that. He does not appreciate being called an extremist. His party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, fought back. They said the UK has a long history of imperialism and still has the blood of Africans dripping from its hands, and that its wealth was built on the back of black Africans. The EFF saying that Julius Malema will not trade his revolutionary values in exchange for a visa. Malema's denial letter from the UK Home Office said his presence here in the UK would not be conducive to the public good because of his conduct, character, and associations.
Commander-in-Chief, we want to thank you and your leadership for refusing to close this organization called the EFF. When they called you to the boardrooms and presented presentations to you and gave you essays and wrote long essays trying to justify why the EFF must be closed, you put your foot down and said, never in my name will I allow the EFF to be liquidated. How can the EFF be closed in a boardroom when it was never formed in a boardroom? Because the EFF was formed in Uncle Tom's, where you call domestic workers, where you call students, where you call the unemployed youth, where you call domestic workers, petrol attendants, the middle class of South Africa, the poorest of the poorest. They said to you, go and form the EFF. They didn't call you to a boardroom. This organization can't be closed in a boardroom. It was never formed in a boardroom. What will we say to the Marikana widows who came to you and said, we want an alternative to the ANC? The ANC has killed our husbands. The ANC has shot and killed the future of our children. Come and be an alternative to the ANC. The Marikana widows, President, did not ask you to form the EFF so that you can save the ANC. That is not the mandate they gave you. They wanted you to form the EFF so that you can govern South Africa and be an alternative. What will we say to the feast must fall generation? When the police were shooting them, the EFF brought lawyers. When the police were kicking them out of institutions of higher learning, it was the EFF that stood with them. What will we say to them if we must liquidate this organization? What will we say to the workers who were insourced by the EFF Students Command? What will we say to them when they are now being paid higher wages, when they can now study and bring their children and get the same privileges as professors, as doctors, as academic staff? How are we going to explain to them when this organization is closed in the boardroom? What will we say to the millions of young people who, when they come at the middle of the year, at the beginning of the year, and they want to enter school, the EFFSC through the Sizofuna Ngenkani campaign says to them, whether you can afford registration or not, Siangela Nadi, what will we say to them when this organization must be closed down? It can never be. It can never be, Comrade President. This organization can never close down in the boardroom because it was never formed in the boardroom. Members and activists of the Student Command continue to protect this organization. You have never been part of any other organization. You don't have any yellow blood in your skin. You don't have green blood. You don't have blue blood. Your virginity in politics was broken by the EFF. Defend the EFF. Fight for the EFF. Never lose hope. Amanda! Fight for the unemployed youth. Fight for the students who want free education. Amanda!
Is threatening to form a party. Whoever has got access to that guy, just tell him the little resources he's got remaining, he must look for a plot and look for goat and just look after goat and have peace.
South Africa's opposition leader Julius Malema has been banned from entering the UK after the Home Office deemed his presence non-conducive to the public good. The decision cites his vocal support for Hamas, including a speech where he pledged to arm the group if his party came to power, and past remarks which the West deemed inflammatory. Malema's party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, condemned the move as politically motivated, framing it as an attempt to silence dissent and suppress support for Palestine. This marks the second visa denial in 2 months, with the UK stating he has no right to appeal and future applications will likely be rejected unless his stance changes. Malema, known for his anti-Western rhetoric and advocacy for land redistribution, has faced backlash for songs like Kill the Boer, though South African courts ruled they don't constitute hate speech. The EFF maintains it won't compromise its revolutionary principles for UK entry.
So guys, who is this Julius Malema? When you are asked that question, how will you answer it? How will you describe Julius Malema? The Pan-Africanists in the house, I know it's very easy for you. So let's break this story down until we get to the point where we'll be discussing about his denial visa, his visa being denied in Europe, UK, a free country in quotes. So Julius Malema is a leader of South Africa and is the chair of Africa's Economic Freedom Fighters Party, the EFF, that's how it's abbreviated. He is extremely famous, not just for being an opposition leader, but also for these powerful speeches against colonialism, racism, capitalism, and Western interference in African affairs. So he's not just a figure from South Africa, he is a Pan-African voice, you know. He calls out former colonial powers and he does not shy away from criticizing global superpowers. And of course, that makes him a very controversial figure, you know, to say the least. So why do you think his visa was denied? What really happened? That's what we want to talk about. So according to several sources here and even the videos that we just listened to, the government of UK denied Malema a visa, and that is for him to attend or speak at an event in Britain. Of course, we don't have any official explanation, but we believe it's politically motivated, of course, because why will he be denied, you know? Julius Malema is this guy that opens the mind of Africans because he wants Africans to decolonize their minds. So some sources from Britain, you know, they tell us that the government views him as a security risk or a diplomatic headache. So others also believe that it's an attempt to silence African voices, and that is, silencing African voices that try to challenge the Western narrative, okay? So those are some of the reasons that he could have been denied this visa. And remember, this is not the first time. In the past, so many other, apart from Julius Malema, there are also others who have been denied a visa to go to the United Kingdom. And why would UK specifically deny him? Julius Malema is this guy that has publicly called out for the return of African land. He has criticized the British monarchy. I don't know if you watched that video. And he has even demanded, not even requested, he has demanded reparations for slavery and colonialism. There is a day that he said, the sun has set on the British Empire. We will no longer bow. So what will you expect? What will you expect from the government of UK? So while the UK might hide behind security or legal jargon, the truth is that they don't want him to speak to their people. You know, they fear the message that he's carrying with him. And, you know, this message of Africa must rise. Africa must own its own destiny, and Africans should stop begging from the West, because those are the terms that he actually uses most of the times in his speeches. So many people have come out, reacted on it. The EFF supporters have also reacted on it. Africans, both in Africa and abroad, they have reacted on it. And oh my God, it's crazy, it's crazy. So, have you seen people on social media talking about this particular story? You should go and see what's really happening. But of course, some citizens in the UK, they are actually supporting, you know, and I think these are the Africans in UK, they really support this guy. Some are like, no, we don't need this guy over here, he's divisive and dangerous. Those are their own opinion. But the truth is, Malema has never ever called for violence abroad, honestly. Let's speak the truth. He has never ever called on violence while in abroad. And, you know, of course, that makes him uncomfortable. That why will he be denied this visa? So let us look at the bigger picture. And when we talk about the bigger picture, this goes beyond Julius Malema. It's about how the West still tries to control the African narrative. I don't know if you get it. That's the bigger picture now. So when Africans speaks boldly, when Africans speaks confidently, whether it's Patrice Lumumba, whether it's Ibrahim Traore, you know, it doesn't matter the years, I mean how long ago, they get censored, they get punished or blocked or even unalived, which is really, really unfair. And why is it that African leaders who dance to the Western tune are welcomed in red carpets, you know? And you normally see how they are welcomed. Hey. But those who challenge the Western world, they face, you know, something that we call injustices, and they are treated as criminals. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. So, my good people, I don't know what you actually got from the story of Julius Malema being denied a visa to go to the UK. I don't know what you think. Kindly comment down below and tell us, you know. So, I don't know if all this Julius Malema drama, visa drama, or visa denial drama was all about safety, or was it about silencing the truth? What do you think? For me personally, I believe that this move by the United Kingdom, it sets a very dangerous precedent, you know. Julius Malema may be controversial on that, we can agree, but his voice matters, okay? So when the so-called champions of freedom starts picking who gets to speak, that's when we should all start asking questions. Let me know what you think in the comment. You know, is Malema a threat to peace or a threat to oppression? Kindly. Until the next video, I'll see you then. Kindly subscribe to our channel, Africa Unchained.